Morning, everybody. This is Jake Arthur from Pro Football Spot coming to you on Colts game day morning, week 5. Today, the Colts take on the Chicago Bears at Lucas Oil Stadium at 1 o'clock. Kind of getting into the matchup here. Bears quarterback Brian Hoyer will be in for Jay Cutler. Cutler's out with a thumb injury. Hoyer is overall a game-managing type of quarterback. He's not the type to win you games, but he's not going to make a lot of mistakes either. Not going to turn the ball over, so the Colts may not come up with those. They haven't quite been on the prowl against quarterbacks that turn it over anyways. So don't expect a lot there out of Hoyer. The Bears in the receiving game will not have number 2 receiver Kevin White, and then Eddie Royal and Zach Miller have both been a little banged up as well. Alshon Jeffrey always seems to be dealing with some sort of nagging injury, so the Colts have their entire secondary intact today, as long as Darius Butler should be back, So it really will be unacceptable for the Colts to kind of lay down and let the Chicago passing attack kick their ass. But in the past, that has happened. They've let pedestrian offenses come through and just run right over them. And, in this example, Hoyer would throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. So they really need to lock it down and play to the level that they're capable of. And, with the release of Antonio Cromartie this week, I think everyone's on notice that they really need to step up here. If the Colts defense is going to be concerned about someone, it would be new Bears running back Jordan Howard. As a former IU Hoosier, a lot of you may already be familiar with him. But for those of you who are not, he's a lot like former Texans running back Arian Foster. He's got a lot of that patience to his game, kind of a methodical runner. Will pick his holes. He's a good pass protector, and he can participate in the pass game. So for those of you who aren't familiar with him yet, you'll see exactly what I mean. For the Colts on offense, I don't expect a whole lot of changes from their run game. It might be relatively successful in the first half. Maybe they can keep that going if they're not behind by a couple scores and have to abandon it this week. I think what they need to do, though, is get the quick passing game going in order to set things up downfield. Chicago's front seven is very talented, led by Jarrell Freeman, who you're all familiar with. And they're going to be coming for Luck because that has been opposing teams' MO. Luck has been vulnerable. The Bears do have the 10th overall defense, I believe, number 8 passing defense, but they do give up 24 points a game, so it's not like this is some big, huge, formidable defense. The Colts can have success offensively, as we've seen if they get out of their own way. Coaching, keep an eye, are they actually going to go no huddle, or are they just going to be a stick in the mud and say they know what works and continue to use what doesn't work until it's too late in the second half? Hopefully we don't see that. Chicago's secondary, they're a little banged up, and they're also young. They just lost Kyle Fuller, their top corner. So, the Colts really should be able to establish their passing game here. Again, it's not going to be acceptable if they don't get the passing game going, because there's no reason they shouldn't. A quick note, keep an eye on the Colts offensive line this week. Although the normal starting 5 should all be healthy, Anthony Costanzo, Jack Muhort, Ryan Kelly, Denzel Good, and Joe Wrights. Head coach Chuck Pagano was pretty non-committal this week when actually talking about who the starting 5 would be, which is odd if you're not planning on making changes, or at least thinking of tweaking things up until the 11th hour. So keep an eye on that. That's just some things to look for in today's matchup. Don't forget to follow at Jake Arthur PFS and at @spot_Colts on Twitter, as well as Jake Arthur, Pro Football Spot, and Indianapolis Colts on PFS on Facebook. Also be sure to drop by profootballspot.com for all of our coverage. Thanks for watching, guys, and go Colts.